Thanks very much, Brian. Right, public health warning. Last 2 days, explosive cold. Front 5 rows splash zone, just in case I sneeze, okay? So I'm here today to talk about where we're at with social media in this day and age. And in order to do that, I need to take you on a journey back to 2011. This was a year that Charlie Sheen went absolutely batshit crazy, and we all observed it through social media. It was also the year that the Arab Spring really showed us the truly awesome power of freedom of speech through social media and, of course, citizen journalism. And it was also the year that thousands of planks across the world tried to show us how wacky they were by planking and then sharing it via social media. Now, if you were using social media as part of your marketing mix back in 2011, it's highly likely that it seemed like a friendlier place. Likes, retweets, and shares lined the streets and the parks, just looking for those well-worked-out social media updates that you'd put all that graft and ideation and all that analysis of your audience into to try and get these things to swarm on there, and then hopefully those would lead to an action, a click through to a site or something like that, a piece of content. It was all going well, it was lovely. I was really enjoying myself. And then the reach monster came along and started swallowing up all those little guys. And listen, I'm talking about likes, comments, shares, and favorites and things here. They're a bit fluffy, but they do generate something eventually. It takes a little bit while. So this started happening. And one of the best ways to give you an example of this is the well-documented reduction in the organic reach of Facebook. So if you have a page, you're now struggling to get anywhere. And this scientific graph shows you the drop-off in reach. Okay. Not massively scientific, but fairly on trend. We have 2011 at the top and we have now at the bottom. Thanks to Scott Torrance for those sketches. Okay, so the average reach of a branded Facebook page is now 2.5% of your fans. So when we put something on our page, only 2.5% of those people that have decided to like your page have the opportunity to see it. That's pretty drastic. Excuse me, sir, what was your name? Paul, what company are you from? Nice one, cool. If my page has 10,000 fans, and on average 2.5% of those is going to be reached in the news feed, how many actual people is that? Absolutely brilliant. Tonics wafers for you, my man. Smart guy, smart guy. Brilliant. So Facebook reach has been plunging. Why? Why is this? Well, because Facebook have been actively strangling it. People ask why. Well, Mark Zuckerberg and co. will tell you that it's because they want to give users the best possible experience in the newsfeed. Bollocks. I believe it's because they were fed up of all us marketers doing pretty well off the back of their success. And things like an IPO tend to mean, let's make a bit more money. If we move on from Facebook, we look at Twitter. Anybody that uses Twitter on a personal level or for marketing and comms may have noticed that it's a bit tougher over there now. And the problem is that despite Twitter's inability to grow at the moment or retain users, it's still a massively saturated platform. So many people are trying to get all your eyeballs onto their content, and that makes it really tricky to get on there. We're still seeing nice organic reach with things like Instagram, but that will change. I'm going to talk about that more soon. Now, I was reading the Content Code by Mark Schaefer, a really great book. And there's a stat that in the US, the average citizen is consuming 15.5 hours of media in any given day. Now, that's not just going to be online and social media. That's going to be radio, TV, billboards, and all that type of stuff. But in a 24-hour day, 15.5 hours, and how much of that is maybe passive, we don't know, but that's staggering. So that means when we're trying to get our messages out anywhere, we're fighting against all of that. It's really, really tricky. Then Dave Trott in a video just from last month, the average UK citizen is subjected to 1,000 ads per day. Again, not just online. It can be billboards, driving in cars, on the tube, all that type of stuff. So how the hell are we meant to cut through all of that as marketers? Well, social media gave us a nice opportunity to do that as long as we went down the right path of doing it and respected everything. But that is on the slide. Basically, the free ride is over for social media. We have to live up to that fact. What can we do about that? Well, we can dry our eyes and stop whinging and get the hell on with it, okay? Now, how do we go about that? We have to maintain the organic excellence. Social media is about people. We've heard a lot this morning about making things for people, things that they're going to like, things that they're going to entertain them, and so on and so forth. That's brilliant, and we have to keep doing that. But in order to make a real impact, and when I talk about impact, I am not talking about X amount of followers, X amount of likes, X amount of comments, so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong, all that stuff is important. As a marketer, my job is to affect the bottom line of my clients. And that is what we should be thinking about. So what can we build to make that potentially happen through social media? The organic stuff, massively important. It's the bedrock. You can't do good paid social without this lovely, nice organic bedrock sitting behind it. Here's an example from last week. Daniel Hancock's fancied buying himself an Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Ooh, nice one, Daniel. He had spotted one in a Manchester showroom the weekend before, and he went back the following weekend to go and buy it. Lo and behold, it wasn't there. So Daniel wrote this lovely poem and tweeted it to Alfa Romeo. Got to give Daniel some props for that. He's gone the extra mile there. Now, a lot of brands would have probably tweeted him back and said, "No luck, Daniel, but here's a list of other cars you can buy." Oh, come on. I mean, horrible sales message. The next day, Alfa Romeo did this. They wrote a poem from Giulietta to Daniel. They designed it up. Why did I notice this? Because it ended up in my feed via masses and masses of retweets. So they've got that nice bit of amplification through something clever like this. Has that cost them anything? Well, they've probably got an in-house designer. Maybe knocked that up in an hour, and somebody's given them the good words. So it's an example of how you can still do great work with organic, and you have to maintain that, but we need to think about paid. Wes Finley, who's the head of global operations for Coke, he said this again just last month. They've recently been achieving more with a $500 ad spend on Facebook than they can with their 80 million people that are fans or have liked their official Coke page. Back in the day, that would have been working wonders for them. Coke tends to be about branding. We saw the content that they're producing earlier. But it's amazing to see a brand at that level thinking about $500, and that's returning something for them if you imagine what the size of their budget is. What can social media advertising do for us? Well, some things. You can pay to increase your audience. So buy more likes, buy more followers if we're looking at Facebook and Twitter. Nah. Absolutely not. I see no value in that, because how can we tell the value of that one new follower? What are they going to create? So we can't tell the man upstairs, not God, I mean our boss, we can't tell our boss how much that one thing that we maybe spent 70 pence is going to return. Not keen on that. We can pay for interaction, retweets and things like that. Yeah, you might get some amplification off the back of that, but it's most likely to be false. We can pay for clicks to our site and our content. Right, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Maybe not sites so much as we were hearing earlier, but content. You guys spend all this time creating this brilliant content, and you think you've worked out your audience properly, and it's difficult to get to them. And Amber, was talking earlier about getting to the right people. Now, social media can allow you to do that if you're clever. Drive things like app installs. You'll see a lot of Twitter ads trying to get you to go and install an app on your phone or download a game. That's a good one. Drive data capture. Yep, marketers love data. You've got to do it in a nice, clever way, though. And leads and sales. Yes, all the social media evangelists over the years have said you can't sell via social media. Bollocks, and I'm going to show you why later. All of social media advertising success is based on targeting. It's all about the targeting. So Facebook gathers so much data about each and every one of you in these rooms, and it's watching you, how you behave on there. So you've got geographics, you've got demographics, so on and so forth. You've got interest-based targeting. So Amber said that, Kirsty said earlier, don't go for ponies if you're going for 20, 25-year-old girls. Exactly, women, sorry. That's fine, but there's all this stuff you can build in. Now, the one thing I love about Facebook targeting is the fact that I can target people that like the pages of my competitors. Nice one. It makes me feel like marketing is James Bond. Minus the drinks habit, womanizing, sharp suits, and awesome cars. I drive a burgundy Nissan Qashqai. It's shit. So it's all about the targeting. Now, Twitter, you can't target on as wide a basis because there's not as much data in there. We don't give them as much data. But something really cool is TV targeting through Twitter. So if I was an Edinburgh-based online software accounting system, say Free Agent, for example, I would want to target people that are watching Dragon's Den. Because what happens every time on Dragon's Den? They stand there and they crap themselves over their numbers and they boot them out. Well, a nice little ad could be, you need to know your numbers in business, use Free Agent. You're getting to people that are in Dragon's Den now. Probably want better copy, you need a nice imagery, so on and so forth. LinkedIn, B2B. I know a lot of you are B2B. LinkedIn is the platform that makes my face do this every time I want to use it. I hate that place. I'm sorry if anybody's affiliated with LinkedIn, but it's awful. It's a horrible place to be. My newsfeed's full of crap. I get spammy requests. It's absolutely awful. But they do have an ad model, but it's bloody expensive. You see a lot of brands putting sponsored content out there, for example. They've maybe targeted people with a certain job title, or they've been at a company a certain amount of time, or a geographic one. Every time that someone clicks that, it's probably going to cost them £3 or £4, and that is going to be expensive. That is quite a big, just for a click, what's the forward path from that? If we've acquired somebody off of that, right, we're going to be quite happy. One of the things about, so I mentioned Instagram earlier. Now, if you're up to speed, the Instagram API is now opened up wider. In the autumn, it's rumored that every business will be able to advertise through Instagram. Now, Instagram will be using the full Facebook targeting, which is fantastic, and you'll be able to buy Instagram ads through the current Facebook interface. Fantastic. But I see already there's a massive, massive backlash to the current Instagram advertising, and I expect to see many brands failing and the users just get more and more pissed off, because effectively we are sticking ourselves right in where we are not wanted. That was quite aggressive, wasn't it? Sorry. Here's something that I expect to see more of. Tesco Foods, sorry if anyone's from Tesco, great brand. That food looks absolutely disgusting. And that's what the comments said. A food abacus so the little ones can count down to the main course. No, maybe they can count down to puking it back up. Now, it's awful. It's awful. And it's one of these carousel ads, so you'll see the little dots there and you can flick through. Every one was a more disgusting photo. And I just thought, oh no, somebody at Tesco's going, got a bit of money, let's speak to Instagram on the phone, we'll be one of their partners. And then we'll put out a crap ad that does nothing like that. More partners are on board. Last week, oh, Jesus Christ, trying to get me to install some crappy game. That image is not Instagram. Instagram is about great imagery, little bit of copy, not this horrible type of stuff. Not cool at all. The comments were saying, hate this, get off my feed. A lot of the speakers already this morning have very cleverly told you what you need to think before you start doing any of this. What are we going to do? Why are we going to do it? What's the problem we want to solve? You need to think all that stuff before you think we want to run an Instagram ad or we want to run a Facebook ad. What can we comfortably spend on this? Think about cost per acquisition. If you're a SaaS provider and it's a monthly subscription model and your average customer stays with you for 24 months and pays a tenner a month, that's a very rough look at your lifetime value. Now, a Twitter cost per acquisition campaign with that aim of getting somebody to sign up for a trial could cost you anywhere between £8 and £10, for example. Now, that can go up and that can go down quite wildly in my experience at times. So we need to think, well, yeah, if somebody spends £240 and it costs us £7 to get them, then that's fine. But what's the real value for the business? Then you get to testing. You need to test. And the beauty of social media advertising is that you can test, and you can test a small budget. So what do we want to test? We want to test various targeting, of course, different copy, different imagery, and always run multiple ads within one campaign. I was chatting to a business recently, and they were running Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn using the same copy and image, albeit cut to the right thing, with the same required action off the back of it. You need to have multiple ads that are suited to that platform. What are the results? And I don't just mean the data from Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and the fluffy likes and comments and retweets and all that type of stuff. What's happening back on your site or the piece of content that you were trying to drive people to? When they hit that piece of content, what's the forward path through the site? Do they come back? So on and so forth. Once you've got a bit of data, cut the crap, focus on the big things, and there's no need to spend big, big bucks. And I would encourage anybody that's working for a business here that hasn't actually run any social media ads yet, do the stuff from the last slide and then test it out. Test it out. And don't go all platform crazy. Focus on one. Once you get to that point where we're going to try some, here's some tips of how you can make sure you are almost welcome. Okay, respect the feed, number one. Brands have had to try really hard to be welcome within social media, and to a lot of people, we are still not. And ads have just made people get all sorts of crazy about it. They're like, get out of here, why are you here? I got asked to do this talk over 6 months ago, and I've spent a lot of time looking at ads. And here's the typical response I see. Oh, asterisks in the wrong place there, guys, sorry. Not safe for work slide there. Yep, they're pretty much telling the brands to do that on a highly regular basis. They want you to get off their feed. Yep, absolutely. Or my favorite, I'd rather eat shit than use your product or sign up to your service. It makes you feel amazing as a marketer when you see people having so much love for your brand. So respect the feed. And what's one of the ways we can do that? We can always add value by giving people something they want to get involved in. Content should always help, entertain, or educate. Absolutely. Simple rules to live by. Here's an example. It was a video. I tried to get it out of Instagram on there. I couldn't, so apologies for that. the Samsung Mobile decided to go to an Instagram influencer. LinkedIn would have been a bad choice. An Instagram influencer and give them the camera and try them to catch a cool video. The video is entertaining. The dog grabs a horse's lead and off it trots. Okay, haha, kind of entertaining. But they're focusing on one part of that product, so they've got that singular aim. We want people to know that they can get the camera out of their pocket quickly and grab something as it's happening. Now, this ad got nearly 11,000 likes. Likes are pretty much fluff until, as a marketer, I think, well, that is a barometer of the response to this. If that had been 1,000 likes, that showed me that the users are not keen on that ad. And what you can see at the bottom there is a good example of this person has liked that ad so much that they've shared it with a friend and said a good ad for once, and I couldn't help but agree with her because that is, I've seen, honestly, 90% of the ads I've seen have been awful during this process. So it's a good idea. Yeah, Samsung, a lot of money, but it's a clever delivery. Keep it simple. Now, this ad isn't a piece of content. They have thought, we want to shift more of this product. Basics products, they create a lot of products that basically make things that are problems in your life easier. So having a fat wallet, for example, Jesus Christ, first world problem or what? But, you know, oh no, my wallet's full of stuff. What can I do? Oh, look, I'm on Facebook. There's a brilliant ad. So this is a simple ad because I do look at that and I go, ooh, I have never actually seen a wallet like this before. Not sure what it does is insane, but nice simple image gets that intrigue, grabs the eye. Decent bit of copy. You click through, bang, landing page. Here's the pros and cons. Here's the pros of this. You don't want to put the cons on a landing page. Probably won't convert very well. So, yeah, cool. I thought, nice one. I looked at this and I thought, actually, targeting. Sorry, before I forget. I have a Bellroy wallet which do similar things to try and slim down your wallet because it was full of receipts, nothing exciting. And I bought one of those. I like the Bellroy page. Their content's brilliant, and I interact with it. So they have decided to target me because I like Bellroy. Cool, okay. Nice one, good idea. 7.6 thousand likes. Okay, I'm not, that's fine again. 892 comments, going to go on to that in a minute. But 2.7 thousand shares. That's massive added value for Basics because that is taking that ad and putting it across Facebook into people's feeds without having actually paid for those shares. Look at the results. Top 2 comments. I'm getting one of these. It looks awesome. Intent to buy. I don't know why I'm looking up there. Down here. I purchased this wallet and it's great product. Thumbs up. So we've got intent to buy, customer advocacy. If I was the guys at Basic Wallets, I'd be really excited by that ad. A couple of other points. Use the tools properly. For Christ's sake, I have been talking on ad nauseum now about targeting and using different ad units and things like that. If you do not take the time to sit down and learn how to use those, there's so many resources online before you launch even an ad in earnest. That is on a travesty with a grown man wearing Crocs. No, completely unacceptable, not having it. Now, here's an example of this. Scrolling through my feed one day, this ad caught my eye. Don't know why. So, right, I was looking for some ads. So, hashtag Via Del Pearl online shop will be open on July 1st. Sign up to receive 20% off. Dodgy copy. Starts with a hashtag. Never start a tweet with a hashtag. In fact, Twitter recommends you don't put hashtags in ads unless it's related to an event. Now, during this thought, well, I'm going to find out more about this shop. So I clicked through, and it's an online Italian clothes company. Brilliant. Then I thought, how are they targeting this? Because unless they want me to go and buy a gift for the significant lady in my life, then that's fine. But the copy should have said that. They should have got that message across. So to me, whoever set up this ad just didn't bother clicking a simple button in the Twitter interface to say, just target females. Then I click, and I land on a site that is purely in Italian and has no clear action for me to actually go and see an English version of it. They're targeting this to English speakers, and then the forward path is you land on this site, and what am I going to do? I'm bouncing straight out, and it's probably just cost them £1.80 for that click. So think about the forward path, and think about who you're targeting. It's simple, it really is. Some of the responses to this were absolutely awesome. I love this guy. Love, you are beautiful. He thinks he's speaking to the model. Now, first observation, a lady of her caliber will want somebody that can spell. And yes, Carm_82, you might have an 86 pack, but intelligence wins. But then this bottom one got me thinking about Twitter's problem. I mentioned it earlier. They are plateauing in terms of users, and they can't retain current users. So you sign up for Twitter. You remember the first time you signed up for Twitter? You looked at it and you're like, what is that? What is going on here? There's all this stuff, and it's telling me to like people that I don't even care about. This guy's clearly come on, new to Twitter, and found this shite on my feed. Brilliant use of the word shite. Does it get any better? Well, no for this guy, because he probably buggered straight off. So maybe Twitter should stop serving people to ads that have immediately hit it up. Oh, running out of time. Right, next one. Be topical and think about the forward path. Ad I got served during Wimbledon. I follow Wimbledon-related stuff. I tweeted about Wimbledon, huge buzz about Wimbledon on Twitter all the time. Google decided to get an ad in there to try and get people to download their voice-activated app. They give you a question that you might wonder about. Lovely, customized, quirky image in there. Cool, good stuff, good targeting, nice image, good. I'm liking that. Click through. Simple explainer video. It's all responsive and an easy call to action for download. Bravo, Google. Yeah, they've got a bit of money, but there's no reason why everybody in this room can't think in the same way. Absolutely. I forgot to say, if anyone's related to any of these brands, I'm really sorry. You can kick me later. Bright Roll, right, LinkedIn ad, I talked about that, sponsored content, this cropped up in my newsfeed. I thought, yeah, maybe I would like insights on the video advertising in the entertainment category, and I clicked it and the link didn't work, just like for this guy. Oh, God. So I thought, I'm going to see how much this really sucks, went back 5 minutes later and the link did work, so at least somebody got in the back end and fixed that. So I clicked it, and they're trying to get me to download this report, and boom, oof. The landing page was awful. There was 3 key points about the report and then all this data. There's just far too much data there, people. Think about friction. Think about the forward path, or you're going to waste so much money. That brings my talk to an end. So think about why. Test and learn. Respect the feed. Keep it simple. Use the tools properly. Be topical. Have a clean forward path. Thank you very much. And yeah, brilliant. Thanks. Cheers.